Hello everyone, I am Parikshit and welcome to another session of mine, DILR for the CAT on Unacademy Catalyst YouTube channel. As always, give me 10 seconds for me to ensure that we are streaming live on YouTube and then we get started. So just a brief about me, this is a snapshot of my profile on Unacademy. Thanks to my learners, I have over 1 million minutes of watch time and I'm amongst the top educators on Unacademy, right? So today's session will be on DI caselets, data interpretation caselets, and we are going to solve some amazing caselets and learn some amazing techniques. So let's get started. Let's have the first caselet on the board. Okay. So what you see on your screen, right, is a line graph which gives, okay, let's read the question together. The line graph gives the percentage increase in value and quantity sold of an item manufactured by a company across 5 years. The increase in value each year is with respect to that in the previous year. Okay. So take some time. Take a few seconds to understand what is given in the graph. What is given in the graph? The graph tells you the percentage increase, right, in value and quantity sold. Okay. Percentage increase. So it means it is not giving you the absolute numbers. So as an example, if you look at the 5-year, right? If you look at the 5-year, what is this 5? See here, it represents the increase in price. So it means in 2009, there was a 5% increase in the price of the item compared to the previous. So whatever the price was in 2008, there has been a 5% increase. Similarly, in 2010, there has been an 8% increase in the price of the item compared to what? Compared to whatever the price was the previous year, that is in 2009. The same goes for quantity sold. So let's say I take this number. Let's say I take this number, right? 7. What does it indicate? It indicates that there has been a 7% increase in the quantity sold compared to the previous year. Now, previous year, what was the value? That is not given in the question. That is not given in the question, right? So I hope you understood. All the numbers that you see here are in terms of percentages. So percentage growth or percentage change is what they call. So I think we understood. We spent nearly 1 minute on understanding the graph. And once you understand the graph, you are good to go with the questions. Let's look at question number 1. What was the approximate percentage increase in the price of item from 2008 to 2011? Okay. Now we are at question number 1, right? So 2008 to 2011, they are asking you what has been the total percentage increase in the price of the item. So let's consider 2008, 2009, 2010 and 2011. Now 2008 is the base year, right? That is where the question wants me to start from. Now let's consider 2008. Let's assume any value. Any value, let's consider the price. You can consider any price. Why? The exact prices are not given and we anyway need to deal with percentage change. So whatever number you take, it doesn't change your answer. But always remember, the easiest number to calculate is 100. The easiest number to calculate is 100. You might as well take 1,66,059,142.607. You can take that, you get the same answer. Your calculations will become very difficult. So what you need to do? Take an easy number, and the easiest number is always 100. Let's start. Price of the item. So when I say price of the item, basically I am looking at the triangle, right? So in 2009, what has happened? There has been a 5% increase in the price of the item. So how much is 5% of 100? 5% of 100 means 5, right? 5. So it means 105 is the price in 2009. Similarly, in 2010, how much has been the percentage increase? The percentage increase is 8%. 8%. So there are two ways to calculate this. there are two ways you might wish to calculate this, right? So how can you calculate? The first way would be 105 and 8% increase. You can write as into 1.08, and whatever you get is yours. But I don't think that's the best way of calculating. You need to calculate 8%, right? So how do you calculate 8% of a number? 8%, right? 8% increase. So the number is 105. If I have to calculate 10% of the number, it is very easy. How do you calculate 10% of a number? It's very easy. Put a decimal before the unit digit. How do you calculate 10% of any number? Put a decimal before the unit digit. It means it is 10.5. Similarly, what is 1%? What is 1%? If 10% means put a decimal before the last digit, 1% would mean put a decimal before the last two digits. Before the last two digits, right? So when I say last two digits, you always count from your right hand. So it means it will be here, here. So where is it? 1.05. Now remember, in the CAT, you only need to count till one place of decimal. Only one. Never take two places of decimal. Never do that. So we only need to approximate. So 1.05 can be approximately written as 1. Similarly, 1% is 1, right? I need to find out 8%. So what is 8%? 8% is 10% minus 1% minus 1%, right? So 10% is 10.5 minus 1 becomes 8.5. So we are done with our calculation. Now why did I write so much? Because the right hand side, what I wrote in blue, right, is what I want you to visualize. This calculation should be there in your mind. Remember, we only have 40 minutes for the DIR. So you need to be really fast in your calculations. So 8% increase means plus 8.5, right? So how much will this become? 113 point. Yes. Next year, how much has been the increase? Next year, 10% increase. 10%. So if 10% increase, now you know what is 10%. Put a decimal before the unit digit. So it becomes 11.35. And I keep repeating, do not bother about the decimals. So 11.3, 11.4 approximately. 11.35 is approximately 11.4. So you add this, how much will it become? 124.9, which is approximately 125. Which is approximately 125. Right? And I think you got it. So question was asking you, what is the percentage change from 2008 to 2011? 100 has become 125. So what is the percentage change? 25%. 25%. Correct. Vineet, you are correct. 25% is the correct answer. Got it? Any doubt in this? I think everyone got it. Let's go to question number 2. See, the technique is to ensure that you are able to solve it fast. Okay? Probably you might be able to solve it, but what is very important is you need to be able to solve it fast. D is the incorrect answer. Vineet is saying D, but D is the incorrect answer, Vineet. Let's check the second one. Number 2. We are at question number 2 now. Okay. If the price of an item in 2010 was rupees 620, what was its price in 2010? Now, okay. So 2010, 2011, 2012. Now remember, this is DI. You do not take the values which the question paper setter has given you. If you want to be really fast in your calculations, right, you take your own value. So the question is asking you 2010 to 2012. So take your own values and solve the sum. So what is the easiest value to consider? You can consider any value, but the easiest value to consider is 100. The easiest value to consider is 100. Yes? You can consider any value, 50, 70, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, any value you can consider, but the easiest value to consider is 100. Now in 2011, what has happened? From 2010 to 2011, there has been a 10% increase. 10%. So what is 10% of 100? 100. Right? Next, 2012, so plus 10. 2012, what has happened? I hope you're following the graph. The graph says 7% increase in the price of the item. Can you see the graph? graph has come down 7%. So the graph coming down doesn't mean there is a decrease. Remember, the question is clearly saying this increase. Because last year it was 10%, this year it is 7%, hence the graph is coming down. But it doesn't mean it's a decrease, right? So you need to read the graph carefully. 7% increase. So how will you calculate? How will you calculate? 1% means put a decimal before the last two digits. So 1% is how much? 1.1. 1.1. Put a decimal before the last two digits. When I say last two digits, I mean you need to come from the right hand side, right? So 1.1. So what about two places? What about 7%? 7% is 7 times. So if 1% is 1.1, 7% is 7 times of 1.1. So it will become plus 7.7. Plus 7.7. Right? So how much is this? How much is this? 117.7. Perfect. Now you know what? The question was telling us, no, it is not 100. The question was saying the price is not 100. Rather in 2010 it is 620. So you need to make the adjustments accordingly, right? What I did, I solved it 100. Why? Because I know this is the easiest and the fastest way of calculations. So now they're saying, no, it's not 100, it is 620. Fine. Make the adjustments. It means 100 has to be made 620. So how will you do it? If 100 has to be made 620, it means you have to multiply with 6.2. Do you agree? You have to multiply with 6.2. So it means every number in your sum has to be multiplied with 6.2 because 6.2 is the adjustment factor. So into 6.2. Can you do the calculations now? Can you do the calculations now? 117.7 into 6.2 comes out to be approximately 730. Approximately 730, and that's yours. Yeah, Ravi, you are correct, and that's the correct answer. Got it? Got it? The third one. The third one. I hope you all are getting it. The beauty is to be able to solve it within less than a minute. In less than a minute. So that you can do if you take BI caselet in terms of 100, right? Let's consider the third one. Let's consider the third sum. The third sum. Okay. If the number of units sold by the company in 2011 was 5671, then how many units were sold in 2009? Okay. So this time I have to start question number 3. I have to start from 2009. And then reach 2011. Then reach 2011. Again, the process is exactly the same. Exactly the same. I start with the number which I want. I don't take the number which the paper setter gives me because that is calculation intensive. Right? Let's start. 2009 is the base number. I have assumed it to be 100. As I keep repeating, you can assume any number you want. So 2010, what has happened? This time we are talking about quantity sold. So we are looking at the circles. So in 2010, there has been a 6% increase. So 6% of 100 is plus 6. So it will become 106. Right? Similarly, in 2011, what has happened? There has been a 7% increase. 7%. Yes? So you know what? 1%, put a decimal before the last two digits. So 1% is, I'm just writing on the right hand side, 1.06. Yes? So 7% would be how much? 7% would be how much? 7 times of this. 7 times of this, right? So 42, 4, 7.42 has been the increase. Right? So 113 point. Now the question says, no, it is not 113.42. The question says, in 2011, the number of units sold is 567. Fine. You need to make the adjustments. You need to make the adjustments at last. 5671. So you need to make sure that 113.42 becomes 5671. So how will you do it? How will you do it? You take 5671 and divide it by 113.42. Will you agree? Do you agree? 113.42. So can you do the maths? 5671 divided by 113.42. How much it is? Approximately 50 times. Approximately. So if you do the maths here, you will get approximately. So now you know it's very easy. Why? The multiplying factor is 50. So you know that you have done it 100. So but the question is giving you another number. So at the very end, make the adjustment. What is the adjustment? 50 is the adjustment. So you need to make sure that every number in your calculation is multiplied with 50. So what are they asking? How many units were sold in 2009? Fine. So in 2009, this 100 units, if I take my number, but if I take the question paper setter's number, I know that I have to multiply with 50. So I'll get my answer as 5,000. Yes. So that's the answer for number D. None of these. 5,000. Did you all follow? So this is very, very important. Whenever you see DI caselets, right? Just make sure that you are taking not their numbers, but you are taking your own number. You are taking your own number. Many a times, I must tell you, many a times, what will happen is, let me give you an example. Many a times, there will be some pie charts. Let's give an example. Let's say there is a pie chart. They will give you two pie charts. One in, let's say, 2018 and one in, let's say, 2019. And they will tell you the quantity sold in this case is, let's say the quantity sold in this case is 133,000. 13,000. Basically 13,300. And sometimes the quantity sold here they might be giving you 17,000, let's say 500. Now, if you want to calculate this, it will take a lot of time. Remember, pie chart means it will have a lot of partitions. It will have a lot of partitions like 17%, 20%, and so on. So don't take these numbers. You convert this number to 100. You take this number as 100. And just find out what is the percentage change. I mean to say, from here to here, what is the relation? And you know how to find out the percentage change. How do you find out? 17,500 final value minus initial value divided by initial. Right? Final value minus initial value divided by initial value is the percentage change. So how much is it? I am just calculating at my end. I think you'll get approximately 31.5%. 31.5% is the percentage change. Fine. So if you take the first number as 100, you just take this number as 131.5. And then if you do this, and then do your maths now, it becomes very, very, very easy. Trust me, that 40 minutes LRDI this is how you need to be smart enough and be able to solve more and more questions. I hope I make sense. Yes? Any queries, any doubts that you wish to ask? Anyone? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if anyone is viewing me for the first time, or probably you are not a part of Unacademy yet, I take a lot of classes on Unacademy Plus. There are a lot of free classes as well as special classes, free classes as well as plus courses. So in-depth coverage of your CAT 2020, and if you are a CAT 2021 student, this is the time to start your preparation. In-depth coverage. You will get more than 230 hours of recordings for Quants as well as for DILR. So you'll have a choice. You go with the recordings, 165 plus hours of recordings for Quants and 65 plus hours of recordings for DILR. And the other choice is join me live. So I take live as well as there are recorded sessions. So whichever you are comfortable, you can always view them on Unacademy Plus. If you are not a member of Unacademy Plus yet, you can always subscribe to Plus using my discount code Parikshit Saikia. If you use this referral code, you will get 10% off. And also, if you use this referral code, you can use your Unacademy app to ping me and I will add you to my groups. Okay? So thank you so much. I hope you will enjoy today's session and I will see you tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. for another session of mine. Tomorrow morning 10:30 a.m. for another LRDI session of mine. Yes? People who are live, anything that you wish to ask? Well, join me live. Any doubts? No? Okay. Thank you so much and I'll see you tomorrow.